Debate between the Ramones and Sex Pistols is one of the most heated discussions in punk rock history. Both bands shaped the genre, but in completely different ways. The Ramones, formed in New York in 1974, are often called the true founders of punk rock. Their music was fast, simple, and relentless. Songs like Blitzkrieg Bop created the blueprint for punk, short, loud, and catchy. They rejected technical complexity in favor of raw energy and consistency, influencing thousands of bands worldwide. On the other side, the Sex Pistols represented rebellion with a political edge. Emerging in London during social and economic chaos, they became a symbol of youth anger and anti-establishment attitude. With songs like Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen, the Pistols didn't just make music, they sparked outrage, controversy, and cultural shock. Even with a short career, they left an explosive impact. Minimalism versus manufactured chaos. The Ramones embodied discipline through simplicity. Their songs were fast, short, and stripped of excess. 3 chords, relentless downstrokes, and melodies that echoed 1960s pop created a sound that was both aggressive and oddly innocent. There was no spectacle, no narrative of destruction, just repetition, speed, and uniformity. Their matching leather jackets, ripped jeans, and deadpan stage presence felt less like fashion and more like a factory uniform for punk. Even figures like Joey Ramone projected vulnerability rather than scandal. The Ramones made rebellion feel accidental, almost mechanical. Sex Pistols, by contrast, were rebellion as theater. Fueled by provocation and guided by Malcolm McLaren, they were engineered to outrage. Their sound was messier, heavier, and emotionally volatile. The sneer of Johnny Rotten wasn't just anger, it was performance art. Where the Ramones erased personality in favor of unity, the Sex Pistols amplified personality into full-blown cultural warfare. Scandals, banned records, and public meltdowns were not side effects. They were integral to the message. This is the heart of the contrast. The Ramones proved that punk could survive on musical minimalism alone, while the Sex Pistols proved that punk could function as a social bomb. One side reduced rock to its skeletal structure, the other wrapped chaos and controversy in spectacle. Longevity as rebellion versus self-destruction as brand. The Ramones turned repetition into revolution. Their music barely changed in formula. Short songs, 3 chords, relentless speed. Yet that consistency became their weapon. While they never topped mainstream charts, they toured endlessly, influencing thousands of bands across decades. Their rebellion was not loud chaos. It was stubborn endurance. Playing 2,000+ shows, surviving internal conflicts, addictions, and commercial neglect. The Ramones proved that staying alive and active in a hostile industry is itself an act of resistance. Punk, for them, wasn't about burning out, it was about outlasting a system that never wanted them. Sex Pistols took the opposite path. Their rebellion was designed to explode. From scandalous interviews to banned records, they weaponized outrage with surgical precision. Their career was brief, violent, and iconic, more like a political riot than a band's journey. The chaos wasn't a side effect, it was the brand itself. Self-destruction became performance art. Their breakup wasn't a failure of control, it was the final statement. In a twisted way, their collapse was part of the message. No compromise, no survival, and no return. Contrast is striking. The Ramones slowly infected global culture through persistence. Sex Pistols detonated once and left a crater that still echoes. One fought the system by refusing to die inside it. The other fought it by lighting themselves on fire in public. In the end, punk's soul lives in both paths. One teaches that rebellion can be quiet, repetitive, and immortal. The other proves that a single violent moment can rewrite history forever. Working-class New York grit versus art school provocation. The Ramones emerged from the unforgiving streets of mid-1970s New York. Their punk was born from working-class frustration, boredom, and survival in a decaying city. The music was stripped to its bare bones, fast tempos, short songs, and lyrics about alienation, cheap thrills, and urban anxiety. There was nothing theoretical about their approach. It was raw, instinctive, and almost innocent in its aggression. They didn't try to shock society with elaborate statements. Their very existence as loud, misfit outsiders was the statement. By contrast, the Sex Pistols were closer to a cultural experiment designed to detonate British society from within. Their origins were tightly linked to fashion, art school rebellion, and deliberate provocation. Chaos was not just a byproduct of their music, it was the mission. While the Ramones sang about sniffing glue and teenage frustration, the Pistols aimed directly at the establishment with venomous political anger. They weaponized scandal, controversy, and media outrage as tools of revolution. Musically, the difference is just as sharp. The Ramones chased speed and simplicity with almost pop-like melodies hidden beneath distortion. The Sex Pistols embraced ugliness and confrontation in both sound and attitude. One felt like a gang of street kids playing too loud in a basement. The other felt like a cultural bomb constructed to explode in public. Anti-star identity versus anti-society identity. The Ramones' anti-star identity was built on the deliberate destruction of rock stardom itself. Instead of glamorous personas, they appeared as awkward, street-level outsiders in identical leather jackets, ripped jeans, and bowl haircuts. They didn't try to dominate the world as stars. They tried to erase the idea of stars entirely. Their songs were short, fast, and brutally simple, rejecting technical mastery in favor of raw energy. Figures like Dee Dee Ramone embodied this rejection of ego, vulnerable, chaotic, and anti-heroic. The Ramones weren't trying to shock society directly, they were attacking the illusion of rock mythology from within. The Sex Pistols, on the other hand, were openly hostile to society itself. Their anti-society identity was aggressive, confrontational, and politically explosive. With lyrics attacking the British monarchy, class structure, and social norms, they aimed their rage outward. Johnny Rotten became a living symbol of public defiance, snarling at authority, mocking patriotism, and turning scandal into a weapon. The band didn't want to disappear into the crowd, they wanted to ignite riots in it. Their chaos was strategic, designed to provoke, offend, and destabilize. In essence, the Ramones were anti-star. Without being anti-human, they invited anyone to be part of the noise. The Sex Pistols were anti-society without compromise. They stood as enemies of the system itself. Both reshaped punk forever, but from opposite philosophical directions. One quietly erasing the pedestal, the other violently burning the stage.